Welcome to the Science Plus Love Equals Cure podcast, the STXBP1 10-minute monthly update. This is podcast number 19. I'm Charlene Sunrigby, president and co-founder of the STXBP1 Foundation. I'm also mom to STXer Juno and her big brother Luca. Today, we're featuring Mark Quinlan, the new executive director of the STXBP1 Foundation. I had the opportunity to catch up with him earlier today. Let's listen in. Mark, hi.
Hey there.
Welcome to the Science Plus Love Equals Cure podcast. And also, welcome to the STXBP1 Foundation. We're really excited that you're here.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a great start. I've really enjoyed getting to know you and the community, and having a great time so far.
Oh, that's great. Well, this is what we were also, hoping to use this time for was to give, you a chance to talk a little bit more about, your motivations and your impressions of your, already 6+ weeks with the foundation. And so, maybe I can just start and ask you, why did you decide to join the STXBP1 Foundation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it really starts with that I'm just truly passionate about making a positive difference in the field of rare diseases. And this job allows me to support research on STXBP1 and help families who are affected. And it gives me a chance to contribute to a cause that can really change lives. I love connecting with people, and this role lets me work closely with a diverse group, including families, researchers, and donors. And I get to collaborate with the board of directors and scientific experts, which creates a great environment for learning and innovating. And overall, I think this position really offers a wonderful mix of kind of my leadership skills and community involvement while, driving meaningful change, which is something I've always looked for in my career. So it's an exciting opportunity, and it aligns perfectly, I think, with my values and my skills. And, I think it's a great way to help me advance my career.
Well, you came from another patient advocacy organization, the Fanconi Cancer Foundation.
Right.
Can you share a little bit about, your background there and maybe talk a little bit about generally about your experience?
Yeah, I think throughout my career, what I've tried to do is sort of become an expert in organizational development you know, and and tie that to my passion for working for nonprofit and mission-driven organizations. And I've worked in a number of them throughout my career. My focus has always been on helping these organizations become stronger and more effective, I guess, by improving their systems and supporting the people that I work with, so that they're successful in whatever role they have within the organization. Like you said, for the past 7 years, I've been with the Fanconi Cancer Foundation, and this foundation is similar to our foundation in that it's dedicated in improving the lives of individuals impacted, but by another rare genetic disorder called Fanconi anemia. And they did this through funding research, raising awareness, offering support to families, and advocating for better healthcare options, which is exactly kind of what we're trying to do here as well. And also, like our organization, they tried to shine a light on disorders that I guess are not well known, and to provide those essential resources to those who might feel alone in their struggles dealing with these diseases. And so I feel like, one of my key learnings, I guess, from working with them, that I think translates well here is the importance of personal stories, and from families affected by the conditions, and sharing these narratives to help others understand the challenges of living with a rare disorder, to help foster that sense of community and shared experience among those who have similar difficulties. So I think, I'm going to try to work with you guys to continue to put those stories out there and make sure that those that are involved with our foundation feel included and aren't alone in their journeys.
Well, that's the timing is really great since Rare Disease Day is coming up soon, and I think a real opportunity to increase awareness and for people to share their stories. So I guess watch this space for
Yeah.
for what you're going to do there. Well, so you talked about bringing leadership to nonprofit organizations and foundations, and so you've been here since mid-December, so a little bit under 2 months, and
Right.
we were very excited to bring you into the organization because we felt we were at this pivotal point where the board, which is a group of parent volunteers, had really been stretched to the point of kind of our maximum capacity of being able
Yeah.
to drive the activities of the organization. And so, just curious about your observations now that you've been on board after a couple of months.
Yeah. There's a lot. I'm super impressed with what the organization has done with limited bandwidth and volunteer, leaders leading this for the last several years. I think one of the things a few of the things that really struck out to me was the focus on research and innovation. The foundation is involved in cutting edge research to better understand STXBP1 disorders. The collaborative environment, working with families, scientists, healthcare professionals, and other organizations is super exciting. And I think I was super impressed by what you guys have done so far. And then also that, I guess, focus on empowerment for the families, affected by the disorders, is central to the mission. And then more specifically, I guess, it just things like the fast forward strategic plan. It was a comprehensive plan to accelerate the development of precision therapies, um, focusing on multiple therapeutic strategies and preparing for clinical trials, building that biopharma interest and supporting patients. It's just a really solid strategy that you guys had laid out to move the organization forward. And of course, within that is the natural history study, the STAR study. You know, every organization like ours needs to have a longitudinal study like this to really advance research. And the way you guys have put yours together is incredible with getting FDA engagement, holding that first FDA meeting. I guess it was back in October of 23. That was huge and a meaningful milestone for the organization. The ability to collaborate with globally, with over 20 countries around the world, is super impressive as well. And then just the community engagement and support, the summit that you guys put on every year is super important. We did that at my last job as well. And so I know the impact that has of bringing together families and researchers for a few days every year. It's super powerful. And then just things like the Community Connect program. I think that you've launched is a great opportunity for connection, education, and support among the families and STXers.
Yeah. Well, we've been really excited about the first few months of the Community Connect and the opportunities it's really given people to engage in a really interactive way, and also with the the state expert program as well.
Yeah,
And for those who haven't seen that, go check it out on our website. And so you also talked about the fast forward strategic plan, and we're in our last year of the
yeah,
strategic plan. So I'm excited that you're going to be leading us into the planning for our next 3-year plan. But before we get to that, I'm curious about your priorities for the next few months now that you've had some time to kind of look at the state of things within the organization and the needs.
yeah. I'm excited about looking forward to a new strategic plan also, and I think that'll be probably more toward the second half of the year that we'll get working on that. But currently as kind of the new executive director, my initial priorities have really been focused on establishing a strong foundation for the organization and looking at and addressing any immediate needs and opportunities that we might have. So I've taken time, I guess, to understand the current structure of the organization, what the strengths and weaknesses are, reviewing existing programs, operational processes, stakeholder dynamics, all of that organizational development stuff. And part of that is evaluating kind of current systems and tools that we're using to do the work that we do. And one of the big priorities for the board, and I think is right, is kind of a customer relationship management tool, a CRM for the organization to help us kind of manage all the data that we collect. So I've been focusing on that. Hopefully going to come to the board with a proposal pretty soon on how I think we should engage a new tool like that. Other focuses, of course, are engaging with the board of directors, building strong relationships with the board members. So I've been attending a lot of meetings and soliciting their insight and collaboratively setting strategies, to make sure that we keep moving the mission forward. Fundraising is always a big, thing to be thinking about. So I've been I guess looking at our current fundraising plan and seeing if we need to create or enhance that, with a focus on sustainable revenue. We need dollars to keep doing what we're doing. And so, that'll involve identifying, potential corporate sponsors, which the organization's done a great job already with biopharma, but also looking at grant opportunities and other, philanthropic individuals that are out there that might be willing to support the organization. And I guess I believe that, focusing on these initial priorities, we can position ourselves for growth and success, which is what we're always trying to do. And while also, reinforcing that commitment to the community we serve and advancing the research that we're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, I keyed off of one word that you said around sustainability. And I think that that's something that is super important to us. Obviously, we're all in this for, to get to
Right.
to achieve our mission, to achieve our mission and vision. And it's clearly a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the you coming on board and really helping us to create a sustainable environment and enable us to achieve our goals is really fantastic. So,
Yeah.
yeah, excited for what's happening next. So, my last question for you is, what should families be paying attention to, and how can families get involved?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, and I guess anybody that's watching this has already joined the foundation, and I think if you know individuals that are dealing with the disease that haven't become part of our foundation and are receiving our communications, things like that, I strongly encourage you to encourage them. It helps families stay informed, to connect with others, and advocate for more research and funding. Um, Another thing would be sharing your story and raising awareness about the disorder, and you can do that on social media and your local community and schools, just to increase the understanding of STXBP1 disorders. I think helps the whole community getting that message out there. Fundraising, of course, is huge, so I would encourage you to organize or participate in fundraising efforts to support the research and patient support services that we're doing. And we're here to help you do that also. So always don't be afraid to reach out to me or any of our board members, and we'll kind of help you and guide you into how you can be a good fundraiser. Other things, I guess, would be, families collaborating with researchers. I know a number of families are working closely with researchers to help the knowledge about STXBP1 disorders. That's hugely important. So participating in studies and helping fund specific research projects, that's always something that we could really utilize as well. And then the last thing I would say is just kind of spread hope, share the success stories and treatment strategies that are working for you and emotional journeys with the communities, because it can just help others feel less isolated. So I think by educating yourselves, seeking support, getting involved in research, and advocating for better treatments. Families dealing with STXBP1 disorders can help improve their loved ones' quality of life and contribute to the broader community's understanding of this rare condition. And I'm thrilled to be part of this fight with all of you.
Thank you so much, Mark. And it's been really great to talk with you this morning and share a little bit about your insights and plans for STXBP1. So we'll call it a wrap here. Thanks, everyone. And we'll talk to you next month at the Science Plus Love Equals Cure podcast.